Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call the Legislative Committee meeting to order, and I will call the roll. Mr. Massey?
Present.
Mr. Green?
Present.
Mr. Tobin is out. Ms. Ray?
Present.
4 out of 5. We're ready to do our work. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes. I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Second. Any questions, comments, or corrections on the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor on the committee?
Aye.
Opposed or abstain? Motion carries. As you can see, we have 2 items of new business on the agenda. Local law number 1 is kind of an expansion of what we did with the water bills, and I will ask Counselor to come up and elucidate the matter.
Good evening. Well, you're right. It is an expansion, and you can thank Leonora for the idea. We're now getting lots of unpaid bills with some things that we started recently, like garbage can rentals and bulk pickups, and we're getting a lot of unpaid bills. So Leonora suggested, why don't we treat them the way we treated unpaid water and sewer bills and re-levy them into our taxes? And I drafted it, and you now have it in front of you. I think it makes sense.
All right, it seems remarkably self-explanatory, but I'll go around the room as committee of the whole. Ms. Ray?
I'm fine with it.
Mr. Jean-Francois? Council President? Mr. Massey? Sorry, Council President?
How long is it going to take after we pass this law?
We're going to put it into effect immediately.
And we can start collecting?
Well, re-levying. No, not retroactive.
It's not retroactive?
Well, it includes unpaid bills as of now. So in that sense, it's retroactive. You haven't paid your bill, it will be included in this.
Okay.
Anything else?
Is that fair to say?
Mr. Massey, any questions?
Well,
No,
in the
I'm in
next
favor.
re-levy, yeah.
Is there a further explanation on that question? Are we good? We're good?
No, we're good. I mean, what Miguel is asking is a retroactive. It includes bills that are now unpaid. They will not be re-levied until the next tax bill is due. They're not going to be re-levied in a past tax bill, but the bills that are now unpaid will be re-levied.
Mr. Rodriguez, are you good on that? You look perplexed.
This doesn't include water bills, right?
We already did that.
Okay. All right, that's all. I'm good.
Okay.
Once again, Mr. Massey, are you good?
Oh, yes.
Mr. Witt?
I'm good, thank
Mr.
you.
Green?
All good.
Mr. Kleiner?
Okay, I mean, if the tax bills go unpaid, how long can this drag out?
What do you mean?
If it's added on to the tax bills, but if there's a problem with the tax bills,
We treat that like we do the tax bills in general. If you don't pay your tax bills, you're subject to foreclosure proceedings.
okay.
The same enforcement proceedings on delinquent taxes will apply to any re-levy we do.
Any bill. Okay, thank you.
Good? Good. So this is local law number 1 of 2024. I need a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Committee members, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose or abstain? Motion carries with unanimous vote of 4. Second on the agenda, do you want to speak to this, or is Chief going to speak to this?
The chief is probably better on this. I mean, I drafted it based upon suggestions made to me by Sergeant Welch, but the chief can probably give you the background better than I can.
Okay, Chief, you're up.
Good evening. So as Alex said, this was a recommendation from Sergeant Welch, who oversees our taxi enforcement. And in doing taxi enforcement and her involvement in the community, she's coming across many vans that are vans for hire that are transporting kids to and from school or other activities. And we just want to put some governance on them to make sure that it's safe transportation, just like other taxis and other vehicles for hire that we have some oversight on with inspections and permitting and whatnot. And nothing more. It's not about the fees or anything about that or like that. It's about the safety of those kids. Generally, 15-passenger vans, which is very common. That's the main type of vehicle they're utilizing. They're dangerous to begin with. Some of the people that we're stopping in them don't have licenses. So we're just trying to get a better handle on that. We know it's not going to be, foolproof, but it's going to give us a tool to address them in the future.
Do you have an anticipation as to what percent of people affected will comply with this? You have no way to know.
I don't know if we can measure that. Same with taxis. We do taxi enforcements, and we still have the same people that are repeat offenders, even after getting summons or their taxis towed or put their taxis out of service. I can't help human beings continuing to do poor things.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if a significant number of them go away, you'll still have these families with kids that were using that to get them back and forth to school. I'm not sure how.
We're not trying to make them go away. We're trying to put
Well, they might.
parameters in place to make sure that they're safe. So as long as that individual is willing to go through the process, have a valid driver's license, have their vehicle inspected, get the proper medallion from the city, there is a small cost of $300 for that permit and that inspection. We're not trying to get them to go away. We just want to make sure the ones that are operating safe.
Okay, I just hope it doesn't leave a void for them. I'll go around the table, starting with Mr. Kleiner. And if you've had a chance to read this, it came on kind of last minute. It's basically the previously existing code. They've just updated the language to include these particular vehicles. I'll turn it back over. Mr. Kleiner, any questions or comments?
It sounds like a good idea, like the taxi medallions, and make sure they're safe. Thank you.
Mr. Green?
Yeah, I'm all good with that. Better safe than sorry.
Mr. Witt?
Yeah, actually, this may answer your question. I know that as far as transportation goes, if anyone who lives it's outside of a mile gets bus transportation from the school that their children attend. So within a mile, they're considered walkers. So I don't know whether that covers that gap completely, but there is bus transportation provided at a mile.
Thank you, appreciate the clarification. Mr. Massey?
I'm good with it.
President Rodriguez? Mr. Jean-Francois?
Safety is always first.
Thank you. Ms. Ray?
No, this is good, especially for the people. There's a number of these transports are working one of the schools. And for the kids outside of busing, I know it's a lot of, they don't all go home. So they're not gonna bus to their bus stop. They need to bus, they need to be taken by this transport to a childcare service or an after-school program. And that's what these vans provide, that service. And I did actually help one of my coworkers attain the proper licensing to do it the right way. And it is, it's all about safety and an inspection. It wasn't a big deal. So for anyone who's running a van without it, this is just a way to make sure that that's captured and those kids all get to their activities in one piece.
Thank you very much for that additional information. All right, as far as the committee, I need a motion to put this on the floor. Mr. Massey, thank you. I need a second. Mr. Green, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstained from members of the committee? Hearing none, motion passes with 4 out of 5 present. And I will make a motion to adjourn. Mr. Massey seconds. I appreciate that. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Any